I am here this morning to speak in defense of hypocrites. That's strange to hear. Now, I think before I start, we can all agree that there's a really toxic form of hypocrisy where someone consistently says one thing, often in a preachy tone, and then does another, and all of us despise that. That's natural. But I'm here to say that I think garden variety hypocrisy might actually be connected to virtue. I think the gospel is providing us another way to see it. Lots of people avoid ever being accused of hypocrisy by saying things like this. I may not be the best person in the world, or I'm no saint, or, I'm no Mother Teresa over here, which they hope will give them license to not be held to such a high standard. But Jesus warns about this in the gospel. He gives us 3 examples today where people say, I would never kill anyone. I don't commit adultery on my spouse. When I'm under oath, I don't lie. But all of those things seem to be setting the bar pretty dang low, wouldn't you say? Is the world ever going to become a beautiful place when people are only holding themselves to that level of morality? What if the word hypocrite is used by people to insult and discredit others for trying to live to a higher standard, and then being human and not always being able to reach it every day? Is there a chance that we use it as a weapon when someone is trying really hard to live their best life, but they have bad days, and so we wait till they have a bad day and then we go, see? You're no better than me. So we call them hypocrites, so that we don't have to face how much lower our standard is than theirs. Pope Francis slapped a woman's hand last month. Did you hear about that? Not his best day. He goes out into that square pretty much every day. And he's so generous with his time, much more than earlier popes have been. He's out there shaking hands and hugging and kissing babies and blessing people in wheelchairs, and it's beautiful. Some of us have been there to see it in person. It's amazing. But it's a lot, and he's human, and he has bad days too. And so I don't know if you saw this footage from last month, but a woman in the crowd grabbed his hand and pulled him forcefully toward her, and he lost his balance. And I don't know if it was a reflex or a reaction or just a really bad day, but the first thing he did was make a face. Ugh. And then he slapped her hand and pulled his hand back really hard. Media had a field day. And a lot of people said, some holy pope this is. Look at him, slapping people. I think he would be the first to say that what he did was a sin. And actually, what he officially said the next day was, love is patient and love is kind. And yesterday, I was not. I was wrong, and I am sorry. Now, I don't know if you agree with me, but I would say he probably taught more to all of us in those 2 days than we could learn if he gave a beautiful encyclical on how we should always be kind to each other. He was having a bad day. She pushed him. On the one day he couldn't be pushed. He was on his last nerve. And he reacted. And I can relate to that. Maybe you can too. So what Jesus says in the gospel today is, I want you to strive to be your best self, even if it means you fail a lot. I want you to keep reaching. I want you not just to avoid killing other people. how about you consider taking accountability for your anger? I want you not to just avoid cheating on your partner. How about taking responsibility for the way we look at others and the thoughts that we have when we're looking at others? Taking custody of our eyes and our thoughts. What if, instead of always telling the truth when you're under oath, you just always make yourself a person of your word, so that people don't have to wonder if what you said was true or not? Just be a person of integrity with an impeccable word. Don't say, I'm no Mother Teresa, as if that excuses us, as if Mother Teresa wasn't human, as if she didn't have bad days. So this week, it feels like we're being given a chance to consider the advantages of trying to live a little more like Mother Teresa. You know, one of the best perks of being Mother Teresa is that you draw all sorts of the best kind of people right next to you. People were so inspired by the standard she was living to that they gave up jobs and lives all over the world to come to Calcutta, India, to be with her, because she was living a standard that attracted people who also wanted to live to a high standard. And it reminded me of something a seminary professor taught us. He said, what's true in life is true in nature. Take a look around, he said. You never see a crow hanging out with a robin. Crows congregate with crows, and robins hang around with robins. You don't see a crow hanging out with a robin, do you? And that's what happened with Mother Teresa. She gathered robins all around her. And you know, if we are looking to live at a higher standard, we're going to have to face the fact that we will lose some connections along the way. Because, for example, if you go from being at the bar 5 nights a week with your buddies, and then you decide, you know, I think I need to change this up. I think I want to live to a higher standard. And if you stop going there as often, what are your buddies going to do? They're going to cut you off, because they don't like that your higher standard makes them look bad. So you know what they're likely to do? They're likely to hear that you're not going to the bar as much and you're going to church more. And they're going to say, I don't go to church. I don't want to be there with all those hypocrites. But that's not what this is about, is it? How high is your aim right now? Are you aiming for a high standard? Is there a chance that I could raise my standard a little bit higher and then receive the benefits of that decision? For example, if I am trying to be the best spouse ever, not just avoid cheating, but actually be the most loving spouse I can be, then when I have a bad day, it means I'm going to be not the best, but not the worst. If my goal is to be the most thoughtful neighbor in the whole neighborhood, when I'm not hitting the mark, then I'm just kind of average. If I am trying to be the most loving, compassionate priest I can be, but then I get into a grouchy mood and have a bad day, then hopefully it won't make the rounds of social media. It'll just be a little moment that I'm like, oh gosh, I've got to do better next time. So let's see if we can take Jesus up on his advice to set our aim just a little bit higher. And let's go easy on those hypocrites.